Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by Toyota and Bet365, a much needed win north of the border, but definitely at a cost. We'll talk about that. Plus, Cade Horton has arrived, and is the offense showing signs of life? CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast, driven by Toyota. Let's go places. And Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Use the code CHGO365 at sign-up. Big win for the Cubs, 4-1 over the Blue Jays. I will say this team knows how to bounce back after a loss. They have the best record in baseball following a loss. So that was good news and desperately needed, coming off the Brewers winning in the afternoon and pushing their lead to 8 games, now back down to 7.5 after the Cubs pick up the win. Joey Christopoulos, Luke Stuckmeyer, we call him Joey Christo. Kevin Wells is going to be here in a second. We call him Wellsy. And Sarah's here running the 1s and 2s. We call her Sarah. This was nice to see. This was nice to see, just a bounce-back win, because I feel like last night was maybe as low as I've been about the Cubs this season.
Luke, let me start by saying nothing is fixed.
No,
right?
Yeah, we're not saying it's all fixed.
We're not saying the season is turned around. But I think tonight's episode, I think the theme for me tonight is going to be baby steps in a lot of different areas. Yeah. Baby steps for the maturation of Cade Horton as a top-of-the-rotation starter. Baby steps for some of the hitters in this lineup. That one inning, baby steps for Seiya Suzuki coming up with a clutch hit, the bullpen knocking it down. If you're going to break out of a slump, you got to do it one win at a time. I don't think we're scoreboard watching tonight, Luke, but I think the good news is the scoreboard that matters tonight is the Chicago Cubs win. They have an opportunity tomorrow in the matinee to take the series against Max Scherzer, a 41-year-old pitcher who I personally think, versus Matthew Boyd.
Don't age discriminate.
He's my age, Luke. I can, and I will. The Chicago Cubs should beat Max Scherzer tomorrow to pick up a series win. This is how it starts, though, one game at a time. A lot of great things to talk about, a lot of positive things to talk about, and obviously one incredibly sad event, too, as well to talk about.
Oh, for sure. Chicago Vince says that Shaw and Horton will only be 30 in 2032, so that's something to look forward to as well.
Depressing.
Yeah, Kevin Wells has joined us as well. Kevin, obviously it was a big win because the Brewers had won again, and maybe the division's totally gone, but right now, with the way the wild card is played out and you're tied at the top of the wild card, you need to just start winning games, period, no matter who it's against.
Yeah, sorry about that. I broke my mic. I pulled the mic off the stand as we hit go live, so thank God we have a great producer.
Such strength, such force.
Nothing to see here.
We have a great producer here.
These are not the broken microphones you're looking for.
Yeah, all of these wins count, man. I mean, we've counted on the Cubs being able to find some urgency, being able to dig deep and find a way to win. And tonight the offense was better, still not where you'd want it to be, but you faced a very good starting pitcher who's been doing it for a long time, and Kevin Gausman. He's one of the most underrated and has been one of the most underrated starting pitchers in baseball for a decade now. And he shows you that, I mean, he's so efficient. I mean, he was in the 7th inning with, less than 80 pitches tonight. So you hit the ball hard, a lot of outs early on that were hit hard. But what I really like tonight is, aside from Cade Horton, what I really like tonight is there just weren't many strikeouts, right? Like, I think you didn't take a ton of walks, but you took a few. Remember, we've said the key with this team is walks. That's why they were so good early on. They were on base all the time. And during this little stretch here, not little stretch, it's been like a month and a half, but they just haven't been walking and they haven't been getting the clutch hits. And I felt like tonight you started to get some hits with guys on. And shout out to Miguel Amaya, man, for busting his ass down the line and being able to get to first to get that run. I mean, he put his body literally on the line, and that ended up being a pretty decent run and made you feel a lot better and allowed Palencia to kind of walk in on a nice little, cloud and finish the game out. I mean, that's a huge run that was manufactured by hustle. And when you're going through these moments, when you're struggling to score, when you're not putting the ball over the fence, those things matter and they're amplified immensely. So I thought tonight was a pretty good game, man. These are the types of games that this is you're going to see a lot of games like this in October, right? Low scoring, starting pitching's going to win the day. So it's a good test. This Blue Jays team is no joke. They are a force. So good win tonight.
I see Rob B in the live YouTube chat here at the all-new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel, which tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger, simplifying it for us. That was a well-played game, right? And it was. That was a well-played game. It wasn't sloppy defense. There was a nice play by Tucker and Wright. The offense hit the ball hard. It looked a little bit better. The pitching was great, and they picked up a win. That's the recipe we saw early on in the season so many times, and so it was good to see. The downside of the game was pretty obvious. Like, I don't know anybody that could have watched Miguel Amaya go down and not just felt for the guy, right? So he'd been on the 60-day injured list. This is a guy who was at one time the Cubs' top prospect, and injuries kept coming up on him, whether it was Tommy John or a fractured foot. This year, he finally gets it. It looks like he's healthy, and it looks like the offense is coming around. He's really good early in the season. Then the oblique thing hits, and he's out for 2 months. He hasn't played since May 24th. Is that right?
May 24th.
May 24th is the last game he played. And then, as you said, Kevin, he's doing what you ask him to do. He's hustling down the line. He hits the bag funny, and it's definitely a lower leg injury. Maybe we'll get some updates, but it doesn't look good. I mean, when you see him sobbing on the field and you know what he had to go through to get back to this point, I just want to remind people that right there, that feeling that we all had for him is why even when the team is struggling, doesn't mean you can't be frustrated with the results, doesn't mean you can't be frustrated with players, but that's why you don't make it personal about comments about players and anything that's gone wrong. Like, you feel for that guy. Like, he's looking at that, whatever happened tonight, and he's probably thinking, is this it? That's how he's probably feeling, because he's tried to battle back so many times, and he's finally back one day, not even a full game, and that happens.
Yeah, and that's what's so tough about it. And when you talk about Miguel Amaya, you made a great point that I think that there was probably conversations that Cubs fans have had before about, should we sign Wilson Contreras to this long-term extension because we have Miguel Amaya in the pipeline coming up, and we heard about him year after year after year, and the guy just couldn't simply stay healthy. And then last year struggled mightily in the first half, but God, he stuck with it. Got that little that smaller toe tap, put himself together a really nice last couple of months, and then walked into this season ready to really take over the role. I know we're talking a lot about Carson Kelly this year, but this was really supposed to be Miguel Amaya's year behind the plate. And again, the injury bug hit him with the oblique. Obliques are so tough. Rehab sucks. And he did everything he could. He's been working his butt off the last couple of weeks in the minor leagues, in the backfields, trying to get back here. And he gets actually involved in one of the most important Chicago Cubs offensive innings that I think that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Really quick, Matt Shaw walks, steals second. Miguel Amaya busting it out of the gate to get an infield single. A catcher gets that infield single. Then obviously it leads to the sacrifice fly by Michael Busch. Reese McGuire tags to second base, great play, and then Seiya comes up with a single. So he is actually a component of a really important inning for this Cubs offense right now that has absolutely been dehydrated, has been thirsty for anything right now. And it's just really tough to see. I'm wishing him a speedy recovery, but just by the look of the injury, it might be another long road for Miguel Amaya. And I will also say that if you're a player on the Chicago Cubs right now and you're struggling at the plate or you're struggling at your job, your profession, your career, how are you not going back to the hotel right now and not thinking a little bit about Miguel Amaya and getting a little bit of some perspective right now about not only what's important, but also maybe if you're holding on to the bat a little bit too tight right now, just think about what he's been going through and what he's going through now, and try and bring a little bit of some perspective right now. This is your teammate. This is your brother. And I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know if it'll galvanize, but maybe it takes the mind off of some of these players that are definitely being distracted by their struggles right now.
You could tell that the other players in the dugout were upset watching it for him.
You saw Vlad Guerrero and immediately.
Yeah. They were all upset for him, and he was a big part of what made the bottom of the lineup so good early in the season. Like he was really showing it. So that part of it's disappointing for him too. I just can't believe when you go back like the last 5 years and you think of the Cubs' top prospects and what has happened to some of these guys before this next generation. Like Adbert Alzolay just couldn't stay healthy. He was the top pitching prospect. Amaya was the top hitting prospect. He hasn't been able to fully stay healthy. Brennan Davis was then the top prospect, couldn't stay healthy. Who's the reliever I'm thinking of that threw 100, never made it?
Dylan Maples?
No. Marquez?
Herman Marquez?
No, fireballer, threw like 100 miles an hour, and he was their top pitching prospect, and also never made it to the top.
Why can't I think of his name? I don't know. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think.
Anyway,
chat.
You're literally, it's like you're talking about like 5 guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
that were once the top pitching prospect or hitting prospect, and all have had problems just staying healthy.
I mean, being a professional athlete is hard, man.
Rob says they're saying Amaya ankle sprain, X-rays negative. If that,
wow,
listen,
what a blessing that is.
That would be amazing. Of course, a high ankle sprain can be
that's official.
A long time, but an ankle sprain would be
no surgery.
Braylon Marquez, thank you.
That's official from Craig Counsell. He'll be back on the injured list. X-rays are negative.
Wow. That's just great news for Miguel Amaya, first and foremost.
So that will probably, high ankle sprains are month and a half, 2 month injuries.
Oh, yeah.
But all things considered, it doesn't sound, that
it may not impact next year.
It probably shouldn't. And wow, that's great news, man. That's a relief for the human being more so than anything else. But you think about being a catcher in baseball these days, too. Had it been anything more significant, we saw it end Kyle Schwarber's catching career when he tore his ACL, when he tore up his knee. He never caught again. Doctor said, no, you want to stay healthy and have a long career in baseball, you're going to have to learn to play the outfield, and you can't catch anymore. So this is great news. Miguel Amaya, left ankle sprain in tonight's game, is going to go to the injured list. X-rays are negative. It'll be a lengthy injury. It'll be a lengthy stint. Sprained ankles are significant. And this looked like a bad one, but man, you will take this 10 times out of 10. I thought he tore his knee. I did. It looked like he tore his knee.
I thought he may have shattered his tibia or something.
That's
like
great
that.
news. That is great news.
I saw that we had somebody also mentioned Cody Hoyer. Yeah, that's another top prospect that they were counting on that never made it. I saw a couple Toyota super chats from our guy Steven. And we have another one from DeBears Dude. Steven wants to drop PCA to 9th and move Shaw to 6th and call up Casey. But he also says Amaya put his body out there. They better play well. Super chat $49.99 from DeBears Dude. Yay, we won, but at what cost? Amaya, why, God, why? What have we done to deserve this? Who's been worshiping idols? Give me one good reason that PCA doesn't grab some bench. No way his defense compensates for the automatic out he's become in the lineup. Well, I think
young guys are going to go through it, man. It happens. I think he does need a day off. I think he needs a mental break. But you're not taking his bat out of the lineup for a long period of time.
No,
that won't
you
happen,
can't because he's one of the reasons you're here. It's like, if you don't think Tucker and Seiya and PCA are going to bounce out of it, then you might as well give up because that's the only way this is turning around.
Yeah, that's your engine. That is your catalyst. That is your team right there.
Yeah, thank you, DeBears Dude, for that $49.99 really quick on that one. Look, I have to agree with Luke and Kevin on this one. Now, if you're saying to me, is Willie Castro in center field tomorrow? Would not be upset with that at all. But at the same time, we do have to understand that, man, this PCA journey has been really, really, really interesting. And on the macro level, the Chicago Cubs are trying to win games. They're trying to go places. They're trying to win, maybe not the division, get the wild card, get in the postseason, whatever, all that good stuff. But at the same time, we're trying to create a player here, PCA, that's going to be a catalyst and hopefully a superstar and an all-star in this Cubs lineup for many years to come. And this is, I know that it's taken a lot longer than maybe Cubs fans would like, but this is a pure young player defined slump. Look it up in the dictionary. This is what young players go through right now.
Every young player.
And I understand
every single one.
And I understand that maybe the one mentality is bench the guy. The other mentality, though, is that Counsell, like he has in the past and last year with PCA, and Miguel Amaya said, I am sticking with you. We are working through it. You do not have to worry about screwing up and you'll be on the bench. We're going to keep working through it, and we're going to be process-oriented, maybe not results-oriented at this time, and we're going to hope that results eventually will come.
And that's the correct approach, no?
That's,
you got to let these guys go through it. I mean, I do believe that he needs a mental break, but that's not even close to the same thing as a benching. Pete Crow-Armstrong, calling for his benching is lunacy.
Well,
Lunacy.
and just really quick, you can't say bring up Owen Casey while bench PCA at the same time. I mean, it's kind of like, that's a little confusing to me, where if you want to develop some of these young players, you have to be willing to have these young players go through adversity, and that might not be the results that you want.
All right, we're going to talk about Cade Horton's terrific performance. Tell us what you thought of that. We got good news on Miguel Amaya, just an ankle sprain. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, Cubs fans. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers right now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. You sign up, use the code CHGO365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5. You can get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. And also, with the Bet365 early payout, you can be a winner if your team goes ahead 5 runs with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections. So it doesn't matter win or lose. All they have to do is go up 5 runs in a game. Maybe not bet on the Cubs, but they can definitely get you a straight payout on that. Download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Remember, use the code CHGO365 to deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus or over. If you know someone who has a gambling problem, please call Crisis Counseling Referral Services at 1-800-GAMBLER, in app only.
Toyota's national sales event has a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun. 4Runner's an off-road icon. Tundra hauls it with all its twin-turbo engine. And Tacoma takes adventure straight to the top. Want to ride with sizzling, hot style and efficiency? The all-hybrid Camry is revving and ready to ride. Visit your local Chicagoland Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. What a time it is to be a CHGO diehard. Now is the time to sign up. Bears season is almost here. Expectations rocket high. And, of course, the Cubs trying to get into the postseason. Get access to our exclusive written content, free T-shirt, plenty of discounts on future merchant events, plus access to our Discord lounge where the conversations never end. Go to allchgo.com for the latest information on how you can join thousands of CHGO diehards already in our community. Speaking of CHGO diehards, the Friday 120 Club.
Boom.
Gather now. Gather round. Friday 120 Club this Friday against the Pirates. It's the rooftop deal. The 2-for-1 tasty daily double. First, the Pittsburgh game on Friday. We meet at Murphy's. The deal you can get at allchgo.com is all you can drink, all you can eat at the rooftop next to the firehouse. Watch the game in style with us on a rooftop, some air conditioning in case the weather gets hot.
Well, that's where you're.
Where are we going to find Luke?
Yeah, you're going to be there
in the air conditioning, right? With all the food and all the drink. And then, because we're super nice, it's 2-for-1. You pay for one, you get 2. You can also go Monday against the Brewers at night. So it's 2 games at a rooftop, all you can eat, all you can drink for the price of 1. That's the deal we got right now. And you don't even have to be a diehard anymore.
Can't
Why
wait.
would
That's
you
for
not?
anybody. The diehards already got in on it.
Why would you not want to go to 2 divisional games down the stretch here? I know that I know it's been a rough go for the offense, but I said this on Sunday. I'll say it again. This is the time, man, to go to the ballpark. These are the games we waited for. The games that matter. It's been years. It's been a long time.
I've never been to a rooftop too, so I think it'll be fun.
That's about to change.
Once in a lifetime.
Exactly.
Gotta knock it off the list.
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
About to change.
And I did look up the tickets for Friday's game and especially Monday's game. Monday's game, a rooftop ticket is like $180. So if you do our event, you're getting 2 games for all you can eat,
including
all you can
one
drink.
against the Brewers.
Right. So it's like
a night game and a Friday 120.
Thing. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying.
And Taylor Swift might be there.
She could be.
She could
Don't
be.
let the facts get away of a good story.
That's right.
Only
You
one way
guys
to
could
find
you guys
out.
could reach new heights together.
That's
Rooftop
right.
Heights.
That's right.
You're a little too hip for me.
Now,
I don't.
We do regret to inform everyone that has tuned into the show to see Taylor Swift that she has decided she can't make the show tonight.
We had a scheduling conflict.
We thought she was going to be here. I know a lot of people on the internet got upset when I tweeted it. Some were very excited.
somewhere.
Taylor Swift will not be here tonight.
They had 1.2 million live viewers for that show. I think we can beat it. We just have to work a little bit harder. So spread the word.
That's right.
Yeah. Smash
Cubs
that
get to the World
like
Series.
button.
You'll think Taylor Swift was on this show. Cade Horton is him. Cade Horton has arrived. I will say this, and two things can be true. I still believe the Cubs should have done more at the trade deadline. But if anybody was asking for Cade Horton, boy, I'm glad they didn't trade Cade Horton because he looks like the real deal. Man, no hitter into the 6th inning tonight. He was spectacular. Was it a new career high? 8 strikeouts?
That's his career high now.
Career high, 8 strikeouts. He looks like everything.
Yeah, he started 15 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Half of those games, he's allowed 0 runs. And the stretch that he's on right now is special. And
Since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
5 starts, 0.32 ERA.
Yeah, he had a little snafu there at the end, but let me remind you guys that the Toronto Blue Jays, though they're north of the border, though we don't hear about them a lot, they're in the American League. Top 3 team in baseball this year. Guess which team walks the most amount in Major League Baseball?
I believe it's the Toronto Blue Jays, especially in the second half.
They're up there. They're in the top 10. But guess which team strikes out the least? That would be the Toronto Blue Jays. Guess who had 8 strikeouts against one of the best and most premier lineups in baseball today? That would be Cade Horton. What he did tonight was outstanding in a lot of different ways because this Blue Jays lineup is relentless. They don't strike out. They have like 30 or 40 fewer strikeouts than the next team closest on the list. They put the ball in play. They put pressure on you. They're a lot like the Brewers. They're a contact-savvy baseball team that takes a lot of walks and is top 5 in OPS.
Well, and that's what got Javier Assad in trouble last night. Literally those components that you were talking about. And it is really nice, Luke and Kevin, that I guess it does make sense why we keep hearing that opposing teams keep asking for Cade Horton in trades, right?
Yeah.
It is nice
Well, it's
to hear
another
that.
guy that's had some injury stuff that has kind of slowed his path to where he's at now, right?
Yeah.
Which is also why they're trying to be careful with him here, trying to hold it like right at 75 pitches. I mean, you have to. They showed the shot of Tommy Hotovy talking to Craig Counsell when he had the no-hitter still going. And we were sitting around, I'm like, what do you think? You know what they're discussing.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do here? Like,
I mean, if you got a single here, it wouldn't be the worst
would
thing
it
in
be
the
the
world.
worst thing if we had a 2-out single here and that could be the moment? And then, sure enough, single right away, and they got him out of there.
I told you in the second inning he had no-hit stuff.
Yeah.
Watching his fastball location, and then he was able to paint a couple of the outside corners with the off-speed stuff. His last 2 starts, they may not have been his best starts of the year. I still think his start in Cleveland, where he went 7 innings with no runs, was probably his best overall start of the year. But the last 2, the stuff has popped off the page.
And he looks locked in. That's the best part, is it seems like it's coming. incredibly naturally to him right now. Shout out to the umpire, Jim Wolf, on those corners, by the way, tonight. I really appreciated some of that action. Yeah, and the only reason why he didn't the only reason why he didn't get through 6 clean was that Bo Bichette put up a great at-bat against him that bounced him out of the game and took him up to that pitch count when Craig Counsell and Tommy Hotovy are trying to protect him. The number that I've loved the most, and Luke, you've been on it for a while. It's been well documented. When we talk about him and his journey through the minor leagues, what did the Chicago Cubs want him to do? They wanted him to get ahead of the count.
Yep, stop walking,
and
guys.
Throw strikes. So, over the last 3 starts, tonight, out of the 20 hitters that he faced, 14 of them first pitch strikes. His last appearance, out of the 20 batters that he faced, 16 first pitch strikes. And then in the start before that against Baltimore, 18 batters faced, 16 first pitch strikes. That's 46 of 58 over his last 3 starts for a 79% conversion rate of first pitch strikes, getting ahead of hitters, not walking guys. The start before that was 13 of 22 for the Sox, still pretty good, but it messes up my numbers. So get that one out of the way. So 79% out of the last 3 starts. I think we can work with that, right? And not only is he doing that, but his stuff is swing and miss.
Yeah, he gives you a look that, there's not a lot of guys in the Cubs rotation that generates that much swing and miss. I mean, Shota did last year, but was hurt this year, hasn't had as much. Like, if you can add a guy with that type of velocity and get that type of swing and miss, the dichotomy in your rotation gets that much stronger. That's huge, man. That's a huge addition.
Well, you know what it is, that first pitch thing that's been going on the last 3-4 starts? It's the C word, 2 of them. Command, sure. Confidence. He's pitching with confidence. He's full of it all of a sudden, and he's challenging hitters instead of picking around trying to find things. He's challenging guys, and it's keeping his pitch count lower. He's not messing around. I think some of it is he knows he's not going to have to go 8 innings. He knows he's going to go 75 pitches. Put the stuff near the plate, around the plate, and get your best stuff out now. And he's doing it. And I think I asked the question maybe 2 starts ago when the trade deadline had just passed. I said, here, if you go into this right now and Taillon comes back and is healthy, and we're going to talk about him in the next segment, who would be your number 3 starter if you can get to the playoffs? Who would be the guy you'd hand the ball to in a game 3? And we said, is it Taillon, the more veteran guy who probably could go a little bit longer in a game and has had like a string of 10 quality starts? Or is it Horton, who'd been, a little bit more roller coaster throughout the season, and he'd shown you some stuff, but he hadn't taken that next step? Now you look at it and say, okay, he's taking the bull by the horns. I would have thought Taillon before, but after what I've seen now, if he's still fresh, I'm leaning towards Horton. I'm leaning towards Horton for that answer.
I'd have to agree with you on that. I still would probably say Shota Imanaga or Matthew Boyd get the ball in game 1 and game 2.
Sure.
I'm still probably sticking with that one.
I'm saying game 3. Who would be your game 3 starter?
Right.
I think you would mostly assume that it was Taillon. But if Horton continues to pitch like this, you'd have to really consider it. Because remember, playoff games, a lot of times that starter only goes like 4 or 5 innings. And if he does this for 4 or 5 innings, you can even go to Taillon for the back half of that.
Yeah, I'll go even farther, Kevin. I mean, we've gone 26 minutes and we haven't mentioned the B word, but if it was Peralta, Mizorowski, and Woodruff, I like my chances with Imanaga, Boyd, and the way Cade Horton's pitching right now. And I think if you go up and down the National League, I kind of like my chances with almost any of those rotations, at least with those first 3 guys.
Sure.
We haven't quite talked about the offense yet, but Kevin, you did such a great job bringing up the point on Sunday that this rotation has been one of the best rotations, at least ERA-wise,
they've been
since
excellent.
the All-Star break.
Before that.
So we got to hang our hat on something right now. We're hanging our hat on the Cubs finally pick up a win tonight, and also that this rotation is productive right now, is getting healthier. And how far can they take this team? Yet to be seen. But again, a young pitcher, a piece that can be on your team this year and beyond. It's just great news for the Cubs.
Yeah, Vanilla Chill in the live YouTube chat. Yes, let's not misunderstand what I'm saying. Yes, Imanaga and Boyd, games 1 and 2. I'm asking about game 3,
right? Who
he would start. And right now, I'm starting to switch my mind and maybe say Horton. Now, we may change our mind when we see Taillon come back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's too early for me to shoe that in. I love what I'm seeing from Cade Horton, and I love the second half that he's having. I just love watching good pitching, man, and he's the way he's commanded stuff has been great. Looking at some of the opponents he's faced, not super inspiring except for tonight, man. That Toronto team is really damn good, and he shut them down. 5 no-hit innings. Now he has, his scoreless streak ended at 28 1/3 or 28 2/3. I mean,
almost 30 innings.
Man, that's for a guy who's 23 years old. I mean, I think he's 23, right? I mean, it's the early 20. I mean, that's impressive stuff. Now, I don't know. I mean, it's going to depend on what Counsell wants. I don't know if it'll necessarily. Remember, Counsell uses that term outgetters. He doesn't really look, and I am interested to see how he will use guys in the postseason. But I think it'll be more matchup based. I think it'll be more analytically driven. I think Cade Horton's got the better stuff than Taillon. I don't think that's up for debate right now. But I think that depending on who you're playing and the sample size of the hitters you're facing, how many times has Taillon faced these guys, what are his numbers against these guys, I think that will all play a role in who's. But like strictly, guys I'm having more fun watching right now, guys who I think have better stuff, I think Cade Horton has shown me better stuff than Taillon has showed me pre-injury this year.
You're obviously not making that decision today because you don't even know if you're going to get to the playoffs. I'm just saying that wouldn't even have been a conversation for me 3 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden it's a conversation. More about Taillon and the offense showing some signs of life tonight in a second, but first a word from our sponsors.
Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, it is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are free to and welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside, they've got everything you need to elevate your summer, and if you're starting out, Sunnyside has expert bud tenders and guidance. They can help you out with brands we know that you will love, like the ones that I like, Good News and Mindy's. And if you're a pro, they've also got you covered with over 100 strands on the menu and new ones added daily. We know you'll love Cresco and Florical's incredible quality and consistent products, so what you got to do is visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Here's what you do. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders. For existing users, use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Lab Brands item.
You know that moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car, or your kids ripped them in half, or you sat on them in the car? Well, I've been there, all of those. And then I found Shady Rays. It changed the game. These are sunglasses made for real life, seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupid expensive. Here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I wear my sunglasses without fear, on hikes, at concerts, golfing, on a boat, wherever. Shady Rays Eyewear has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer right now. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by more than 300,000 people.
That's a lot of people, Luke.
Shady Rays, look good, feel better. Cubs, big win, 4-1. They lose Miguel Amaya, what looked like was going to be a really serious injury. Not to say that it isn't, but it appears that it could have been much worse. X-rays were negative. Justin Steele, of course, is dealing with his own serious injury, tweeted out, praying it's nothing too serious for Miggy Amaya. Guy's worked his tail off to get back as soon as possible. Going through rehab for injuries is taxing both physically and mentally. Thoughts and prayers. Obviously, somebody that knows exactly what
going through it right now.
Yeah, shout
he's
out
going
to Justin
through, and he
Steele
knows
doing
what
his thing.
Amaya was just going through. 60 days, having not played since the end of May, basically been out the whole summer. Gets back for a portion of one game and gets hurt again. But
it looks like Sahadev Sharma also says the ankle is swollen, quote, badly. So, again, if I had to guess, his regular season is probably over.
yeah,
But this isn't going to linger over into next season, which is a huge thing, not only for his catching career, but you got to imagine the front office is, I mean, this is a guy who's still pre-arbitration. I mean, he's still under club control until he's 30 years old. I mean, he is the future at that position for the Cubs. So Long term, huge sigh of relief. Short term, hopefully you are good enough. You find yourself in October baseball, and he's back and contributing to that team.
Yeah, and I'm sure when the swelling goes down, there's probably a follow-up MRI afterwards to make sure there's nothing wrong there. But X-ray, clear. That was good.
Not to third rail, but did you ever have an injury ruin your summer?
Oh, yeah. I broke my arm twice playing baseball.
You broke your arm twice playing baseball?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sucked. Travel baseball.
People signed it and all that stuff?
Yeah, I had it signed. I was doing warm-ups, too. I was sliding for a ball in warm-ups. The grass was super thick, and my glove took my wrist all the way back. Yeah. Ended my year. Couldn't play in the Dells tournament. Stunk.
Couldn't eat a hot dog because you can only one arm.
I went out to all the games, but, it's on a such smaller scale, man. Like, I can't imagine this being your profession and putting in all that work and just having a whole season of just, workouts and getting there at 5 a.m. and spring training and,
well, he finished so strong
not
last
to
year,
mention
too.
the money that's on the line.
And not being able to be around your guys now. Now you're just going to be rehabbing. You can't go on the road trips with the guy. I mean, all of it just, it sucks. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, but you still, feel so bad for the guy. I hope he's able to make a return this season. We'll see.
Hey, one of the best signs of tonight was obviously Cade Horton. But just as important was seeing some guys hit the ball hard because we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the extra base hits. And you get 2 home runs tonight. Matt Shaw with his 10th of the season. Number 23 for Michael Busch. Just when I was ready to say get Busch out of that leadoff spot, he gets a home run and gets the offense going. The highest home run, I believe they said, of the year for the Cubs.
All right,
and it did seem like it was up in the air forever. And then Matt Shaw, man, he's up to 10 home runs. But it wasn't just them. It was Tucker hitting the ball hard. It was Seiya getting the RBI late, right? And Tucker didn't have a lot of success to show on the box score, but he did hit the ball much, much harder tonight.
Well, according to Baseball Savant, and forgive me if I'm terrible at math, but according to Baseball Savant, they had 16 batted on balls over 90 miles an hour tonight. They had 10 of them over 100 miles an hour at exit velocity. 8 of those resulted in outs. 6 of them resulted in lineouts. So, again, my big takeaway, my big theme for this one is baby steps. We're not necessarily seeing the results that we want, but as you mentioned, Kyle Tucker hits a ball to the track, right? We've seen some guys lay some liners to some outfielders tonight. Seiya did come up with a clutch hit at the right time. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is the pebble that breaks open the dam for the Cubs offense and it's going to be smooth sailing the rest of the way. I am going to say, though, that we did see some positive things that, frankly, Kevin, we haven't seen for about at least a week now with some of these players. So just to see them barrel up some baseballs, I think it was a good sign and hopefully is a positive precursor of what we could see tomorrow and into the weekend against the Pirates.
Yeah, I have no concerns about Kyle Tucker unless there's an injury that we haven't heard about. That would be the only type of thing that might be hindering his performance right now. I know he's got only 1 homer since July 1st. I know it's been a power out. I know it's been a struggle, but he's a star, man. He'll get it back on track when it matters. I don't have a lot of concern there. The one thing I want to point out that this blew my mind. Matt Shaw, since the All-Star break, 2nd in baseball in slugging percentage. Mm-hmm. That blows my mind.
What's his WRC plus since the All-Star break? He was top 4? He was top 4?
It was top 5 as of yesterday. Yeah. I know that, but the slugging percentage, man, that is a huge development. If the extra base hits can start coming in bunches for Matt Shaw, Shea Langoliers has the highest. He's at an 857. He's ahead of Ohtani. Matt Shaw's ahead of Ohtani in the second half in slugging percentage, and Ohtani just got to 40 home runs.
Yeah.
Again, not saying don't take my words and be like, well, he's a better player. But when you look at the last couple of weeks of Matt Shaw and the pull power home run, if he's going to become a pull power guy, if that's the type of hitter that is going to allow him to, because, we saw a lot of the opposite field stuff when he got recalled, and while that's really important too, but if he can be a pull side power guy while also being able to use the other side of the field and be picky at the plate and take another walk like he did tonight, everything is pointing up for him right now at the plate, and that's huge. That's a huge development. It really is. It means a lot.
And Luke, he is making a compelling case and pressing the issue that you've been talking about for the last week or so about should Matt Shaw move him on up.
You got to move him up.
I mean,
I don't want to risk like a good thing when it's going, but at the same time, the offense has needed it.
I mean, he hit 8th tonight, so that is a bit of a promotion, to be fair. But no, I, at the very least, though, we can all agree and admit that he has earned at least the consideration to get moved up in the lineup. I don't know if it's 1, 2, top of the order type stuff.
Well, with this injury to Amaya, too, depending on the corresponding move and who comes up, I would imagine it'll be Ballesteros, maybe somebody else, who knows. But depending on that, that's going to push him up, I think, regardless, because I think with the way he's hitting right now, and Counsell kind of likes to play the guys that got you there, that seems to be his MO, trust the guys who have been hitting well. Based on that move alone, I would feel like Matt Shaw is going to move up. He's not going to move up into the top 5, but maybe see him at 6 or 7. I think that's probably a fair spot for him at this moment in time. But, yeah, batting him 9th now seems kind of like malpractice, the way he's swinging the bat.
We watch a funny sport.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
I mean,
it's
beautiful. It is a
goofy.
weird sport. Like, the Cubs' offense was unstoppable early in the season, and the Brewers, their comment from the manager was, well, we don't hit enough early in the season.
He said, we don't have a good offense.
Now look at it. They're 27-4. They can't lose a game. The Cubs' offense looked like it was just dead on arrival when it would get to games, right? They'd get down 3 runs and be like, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, they got space jammed.
And the one guy, if everybody said there is a hole on the team, everybody, including us, said it's third base. Matt Shaw's not ready. The chat said DFA him. The chat said give up. Send him back to AAA. He's a 4A player. He's not going to work out. He went down for a short amount of time, came back, and has put in the work. I'm not saying he's a finished work. I'm not saying he's a proven player. But what he has done is incredible at the time point that he has done it. To think that we're sitting here saying, like, counting on Matt Shaw to hit home runs and kind of spark this offense back to life, you couldn't have written that 2 months ago. And when
you talk about the game of baseball, all things are not created equal. But those that maybe are frustrated with PCA right now, maybe are frustrated with our offense, when you look at just the story of what Matt Shaw has been this year, as a guy who is more or less handed the job out of spring training at the third base position. Got off to a really rough start. Had to go down to the minors. Had a good week or so, and then they said, no, we need to see more from you. Put another good week on the board. Came back, played really well for about 10 days, and then nosedived again. And everybody went after him. And I get it, and I was one of those people that said I thought Eugenio Suarez would be a great addition to the Chicago Cubs. I still feel that way. I can still say that while also saying that Matt Shaw is a positive player for the Chicago Cubs. But now that he's turned it around and we are seeing his extended production at the plate, it can sometimes be a little instructive about maybe what's going on with PCA right now if you want to believe that he can turn it around, if this offense can possibly turn around, if this Cubs team can get hot again. Baseball is a weird, strange sport that will drive you nuts, and that's why I think it's one of the most beautiful games I personally have ever played and certainly love to cheer and root for.
Yeah, Willie Castro being the acquisition is very solid, more than solid acquisition, right? To be able to be the utility guy and maybe play third base.
Improve the bench.
Right. It's a great upgrade.
Better than Birdie.
Matt Shaw, you're right. I could not have written him turning on the power like this. No way. The glove, always knew he had the glove. The base running, knew he had the speed, knew he was a very intelligent base runner, knew he could steal runs and manufacture runs. Saw that in the minor leagues, saw a little bit of power in the minor leagues too, but I didn't know it would come this early, especially against some of the pitching that he's had to go against. So, yeah, of course I sat here and said that I would like to see the Cubs trade for a third baseman. Guess what? I still say that today. Eugenio Suarez, I know he struggled since going to Seattle. Still would have liked to see him in this lineup, seen him in this lineup, even with Matt Shaw. But let's not take away from the conversation and beat a dead horse. Suarez is a Mariner. Matt Shaw has taken the reins, and he's shown you that he can handle being a third baseman and has answered the call. Let's say you are hired for a position in a company, your job description is completely different than the one that you've had. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what happened to Matt Shaw, and that happens to people all the time, by the way. But Matt Shaw was handed, hey, there's no room for you to play shortstop. Second base, people wanted to manufacture rumors about trading Nico Horner. That was never going to happen. Third base, man, it's yours if you can get it, if you can earn it. And I'd say he's earned it. And I'd say he's earned it in a big way, especially with his offense and his team just struggling as much as they have these last few weeks here. He has not. And I think it's an incredible, My hat has been tipped to the young man who continues to, he might win a Gold Glove over there. He's played that excellent at third base. I don't know if he will, but he's going to be in the running for one, which is just crazy to think about.
Right now, obviously September's still to come, but right now he's sort of on the path that we saw last year from PCA.
A little bit, yeah.
Right now,
there's similarities.
You can see that path continuing, and man, if that could carry over into the next year, and for that matter, Amaya was sort of on that path at the end of last year. Also had a great finish, carried it into early in the year, and you thought so. Sometimes you just have to wait. Horton didn't happen instantly either. We kept thinking, I want to see more out of Horton. We've wanted to see more out of Ben Brown, and maybe it's why we should be patient with Ben Brown. But at the same time, you're also trying to win very, very important baseball games. So Taillon's supposed to be back and pitched really well at Iowa today.
He had a great outing, yeah.
So, I mean, it's Iowa, but obviously he had 7 runs in a previous start, so you were like, okay, hold on. Much better this start. He's expected to start one of the games against the Brewers on Monday. Maybe it'll be the rooftop one for the Friday 120 Club bonus play, if you will. And I ask you, what happens with the rotation when Taillon returns? 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs today for Iowa. What do you do with the rotation when Taillon returns? Is this a way where you were trying to limit a little bit of Cade Horton and Matthew Boyd? Just maybe, do you keep it do you go 6-man for a little while and try to limit some innings for guys?
I don't think they're going to go 6-man.
I don't either.
I don't think they'll go 6-man, but the Matthew Boyd thing is real. They want to limit his innings. They've said as much. Cade Horton, clearly they're taking it easy with him. They know what's on the line. They know that they've already been hammered with injuries this year, especially in the pitching department.
So do you skip him a start?
I think that'll be in play. I think they will start to, should they get things back on track and start to play a little bit some lesser opponents, yeah, I think those will be games where they will overlook or maybe give them a couple extra days in there. But I think this also signals Colin Ray's time in the rotation probably going to come to an end here pretty soon. I know he's been serviceable and he's had some really good outings, but he's also thrown a lot more than you may have expected him to this year. He was not signed.
You think Colin Ray, the odd man out, more than Assad?
Yeah, I think they want Assad to be that guy because I think Ben Brown will be, with the stuff he's had and the struggles he's had in the rotation, Ben Brown is clearly going to be, your 1-2 inning relief guy. If you need to get a matchup in there, he's got 2 really dynamic pitches. He's perfect for that role. I think Assad, I think they want him to be a starter. I think putting him in over Brown and just slotting him into that role against a really good Blue Jays lineup shows you how much confidence they have in this guy to get the job done. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Counsell really doesn't view starters versus he views pitchers as outgetters. So there's a variety of way he could go with this. But to me, if I'm looking at it on paper right now, I think it's obviously you're going to try to limit Matthew Boyd's innings, but I think Colin Ray will probably see less time in the starting rotation just because you didn't sign him as a guy. You didn't expect him to throw this much. I think you're going to try to save him or keep him on the team, obviously, but kind of limit his innings here moving forward, too.
I want to say the Zips prediction early in the season for Boyd, wasn't it like 40 innings?
And 4 wins, and
it was like 40 innings, and that's when we looked at it and said, do they think he's going to be a reliever? They really think he's that likely to get hurt? It was something crazy like that. It was like 40, 50 innings tops.
I don't remember.
He's been great too. I could tell you it was under 100 innings for sure. It was under 75 innings for sure.
And he's a vital. I mean, you don't need me to tell you this. You don't need the chat. You don't need me to tell you this. But Matthew Boyd he's one of the most important pieces of this team. If they're gonna continue to contend and be in a playoff spot, they need him healthy and they need him throwing. They can't afford him to hit the IL. So yeah, they're gonna take it real easy with him. Probably give him a couple extra days in there. All things considered, this is a really good thing. This is where Craig Counsell does do well. He finds the proper spots to put pitchers in and take guys out, and this is where he does excel. So I'm interested to see what he does, truly.
I love that you're saying that, because the two things that popped into my mind is, one, this is Craig Counsell's time to excel.
Yes.
The inventory, the cupboard is finally stocked, and now these decisions have to be made. And we were talking about this during the game, and Luke, I'm interested to get your perspective on this too, because I think on its face, I think Colin Ray has deserved and earned the right to stay in the rotation. I'm not saying that he's been great. I'm saying, though, as a back-end fourth or fifth starter, I think he has done the job. He's above average. He's won 8 games. Every once in a while, you get a little bit of a bumpy start. For the most part, he keeps you in ball games. But I am now, as Kevin's been talking about this, Colin Ray is a Craig Counsell guy. And Craig Counsell, I think, advocated to bring Colin Ray onto this team. So I think of all the people and all the people in that clubhouse that Craig Counsell can go to and say, hey, Colin, can you be my swing guy? Can I create opportunities where we piggyback on some of these days where you saw the Javier Assad, Ben Brown piggyback this time? Is there a day where maybe you can move Matthew Boyd back one day? Can you piggyback Assad and Colin Ray? Can you hopefully maybe have one day where the Chicago Cubs are up by 8 or 9 runs and you can get Matthew Boyd out of a game in 70 pitches? There's a lot to consider here. But I think I'm starting to lean Kevin's way, where I do think you would start Assad and you would ask Colin Ray to be that swingman, because I think of the experience and the trust that Counsell has in him.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Loblaw is in the live YouTube chat saying you can't count him for the playoffs. We're not talking about a playoff start. We're talking about starting here.
Next 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the season here. And it's interesting because you mentioned that Colin Ray is a Counsell guy. But if you remember at the end of the season, and even going back to Cubs convention, one guy that Craig Counsell couldn't say enough about after his first season was Javier Assad. Because they put him in all kinds of roles and asked him to do all kinds of things last year, and Assad seemed to excel in a lot of them. Now, was he giving you 8 innings? No, but he was really good at that back and forth role. So he also has great confidence in what Javier Assad can do. The question is, how long will it take Assad to get back to that form? That was his first outing of the whole season. He had, no spring training, basically, right? Basically his whole season was shot. So this was his first outing, and it was 4 innings, 4 runs. It wasn't anything special. Is Ray more reliable these next couple of weeks? Obviously, you're still going to see Assad pitching, but is Ray more reliable as the starter because you've seen it? He's actually having some really good starts here recently, and then you have to let Assad sort of work his way back into that, or do you throw him straight into the fire just like they did here against Toronto?
Well, what's the best way to stretch a guy out and work him back in? Let him start. Let him throw as many innings as he can. I think that would speak to that half of that argument, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you see him as a starting pitcher and you see him as a significant piece on the mound in October, which, by the way, he'll be a huge part of that pitching staff should they get there. Crazy that I even have to say should they get there, but that's where we are right now.
Hey, we're just living in the present.
But
I appreciate you. Yeah,
that looking at it through that lens, I think you need to have him start because you're going to want to have him in that starting role and have him stretch out. He hasn't thrown really much all year, so the arm
could be the freshest arm.
Yeah, and
obviously.
If you want to get him ready to roll for those longer innings, I think the best way to do it is to have him start games. But I don't know. I am fascinated. You're right, Joey. The cupboard is stocked here, and we know that Taillon's a starter. We know that you got 4 certified starters, and that 5th one, maybe they go with matchup-based stuff. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do the piggyback stuff. It's interesting.
I'll
it
tell
really
you,
is.
methinks this is why you get paid $8 million a year, Luke.
Oh,
It's for
well,
these-
I don't know who you're looking at saying $8 million a year, but
I'm looking at Craig Counsell right behind you.
he
Or
might
is
be
it Taylor
back there.
Swift?
Just look right on past me. I'll tell you that much.
It also
$8
brings up
million a year.
this great super chat that we had here too, as well. About it isn't just about the pitching staff, but with Amaya going down, we also Toyota super chat. By the way, let's go places. I'm sorry, is that Clint Sierra? Am I reading that correctly? Cerna. Thank you. I'm blind. Will Ballesteros or Casey be called up now? With the injury to Amaya, we were also talking about that too as well. And I'm curious. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, Kevin, because we were talking about this where you could now bring up another bat, or you could just bring up Taillon to replace Amaya. You do have a doubleheader coming up, so you want to make sure that you've got enough bullets in the bullpen. Do you think this is a time to call up Casey or Ballesteros? Or do you think you try and do it for the weekend and then switch it up for the doubleheader, or where are you leaning on that?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to activate Taillon until the Brewers series, so I would assume now with an empty spot with Amaya going to be placed on the IL tomorrow, I would assume it'll be Ballesteros, and then when you get time for the Milwaukee series, when Taillon is scheduled to pitch, they'll activate him that day and figure out the corresponding move at that point in time. But I think for this weekend series in Pittsburgh, if I had to put my money on it, it'll be Ballesteros, because they've started. He's come up and he's done a pretty darn good job when he's been here. He's been able to fill in, in the DH role, and he's given you a couple clutch hits. And his service time technically has been started because he's been up here. And now thinking about it through the business perspective, they haven't started Owen Casey's business time yet. So they haven't started his service time yet. So are they ready to push that button? I think they will be soon here, but I don't know if it starts now. I called for it on Twitter last night after an offensive failure, and I still want to see both of those guys on the Cubs right now, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think they've both earned it, and I think that your offense could use plug-and-play guys to give guys mental breaks. But in terms of right now, tomorrow, Ballesteros would be probably the move they will make.
It was interesting that when Amaya was called up, that Reese McGuire was still here, that they stuck with 3 catchers. Now, if you're worried about having multiple catchers, and Amaya is now back on the injured list, which he will be, do you count Ballesteros as a third catcher? I don't think they're comfortable with that, but in an emergency, could he catch an inning if you had to? Or if you had to make some kind of crazy switch? I suppose.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But I think only in an emergency situation. I think they'd be considering it more like 2.5 or 2.25 catchers more than they would.
The thing
3.
you got to remember with catchers, and this staff has been throwing with Carson Kelly all year, and they've been throwing with Reese McGuire for half the year. They know those guys, and those guys are 2 vets who have called games, hundreds and hundreds of games, and have the experience and know how to call games. That's the other part of it that goes overlooked a lot of the time. The offense is right in front of our face. We see the offensive part, but a catcher's communication with their starting pitcher is vital, man. It's crucial, and I don't know if they're ready to give him the reins to do that yet. I would probably say no.
Yeah, and really quick, just the button on Cade Horton, we were looking up. Who's the battery mate for Cade Horton? Is it Carson Kelly or Reese McGuire? The last 3 starts, it has been Carson Kelly, but that's 7 shutout innings, Cleveland, that you thought Cade Horton looked at his best. That was Reese McGuire behind home plate. Right. So, that still has some value and some currency on this team.
Which is, again, why I was so impressed that Amaya was catching tonight, and he continued it and added on to it. It was like another pitcher. So now he's done it with 3 different catchers. So it's not just the signal caller behind the plate. He's the real deal. Like, Cade Horton has arrived. Hopefully the Cubs offense has arrived too. That's what we're hoping that they're back in the picture now. Cubs win 4-1 over Toronto. They'll have a chance to win the series. They haven't won a series since Baltimore.
And this one would feel really good, man.
This
is
one
a
would be
really
very,
good team.
very, very important.
Back from the dead.
Pirates coming up on the weekend. We got that big double play for you.
Wait.
Wait, what? Real quick.
What is
we
Shane
only got
Eubanks
30
saying?
seconds. He wants to call up Owen Casey. He
I
wants
thought
to
he was
call up
breaking
Owen
news.
Casey. What
He's
about
he's
a Mo
trying to-
Baller,
he's trying
shot
to do
caller, 20? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Official from ESPN Baseball Insider Kylie McDaniel. Cubs outfield prospect Owen Casey will make his major league debut tomorrow.
Oh, what better time?
Wow.
Rooftop, baby. Diehards.
Wow.
Subscribe to
What
the
a way to
channel.
end the show. Owen Casey, baby. CHGO Cubs. Thanks for watching the show tomorrow. We'll see you after the game tomorrow night. Apparently, Owen Casey's debut.
Casey at the bat.
Wow. That would be something else. Thanks for watching. 4-1 Cubs. We're back tomorrow after the game. Don't forget, as always, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger, and fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.